if you're anything like me, you're in the midst of chasing greatness. You're seeking another level in your life or your relationships or your finances or your career or your health. And you're like, man, I got to get to the next level. Greatness is not about money. Greatness is not about fame. Greatness is not about the big house. It's about that feeling. It's about that emotion that we all crave and want to say, I build my potential. And the last I checked, you and I weren't there yet. There's another level that we've got to attain to do that. It's becoming the best version of myself. It's about how good can I become? I know you might be on the bottom of the barrel, you might be at the top of the mountain. Wherever you are, there's always another level. It's time to go out and be great today. Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show, and I am feeling superbly fired up today for this episode. Why? Because I got a great workout in this morning. You better believe it. I was out there pounding the pavement. The Jersey dog and I were getting after it, came home to the home gym, crushed an absolute incredible arm farm workout. And there's nothing like getting the energy off before a podcast recording than a great workout. And I hope you right now are getting your workout in, or you already got your workout in, or you're preparing for your workout. Why? Because today starts a new series. Based on your feedback from a previous series called Unbreakable. Unbreakable is episodes 238 to 241. You're like, TD, we need these series coming at us. So guess what, my friend? You got it coming back at you. And today it's called Chasing Greatness. Chasing Greatness series kicks off today with yours truly. But in the upcoming weeks ahead, I've got some surprise guests. But I also have some ones I'm going to announce. Matter of fact, next week, you're going to hear from my good friend, Drew Brees. Chasing Greatness from Drew Brees. You're going to hear from guys like Chase Daniel. And I've got a few more surprise guests along the way as well with Chasing Greatness. Why Chasing Greatness? Well, because if you're anything like me, you're in the midst of chasing greatness. Can I get an amen to that? Anybody out there chasing greatness? You know, you're seeking another level in your life or your relationships or your finances or your career or your health. And you're like, man, I got to get to the next level. Well, chasing greatness is all about seeking and discovering that next level. And what I want to do today in today's episode is I want to define greatness. I want to talk about greatness, and I want to inspire you to be the absolute best self that you can be today. And I'm going to share some of the folks who I consider great along the way and some of the traits of the greats as well. And I'm going to challenge you at the end. I've got a little greatness challenge that if you hang in there to the very, very end, a challenge that if you step up to the microphone and you say, you know what, TD, I'm ready for the next level in my life. I'm ready to step up in this area of my life to be great. This series kicks it off. So are you ready? Are you ready to rock and roll? And if you don't have your bootstraps tied up right now, you may want to put them on. You may want to get your workout in because I want to bring some fire today. I want to bring a little bit of motivation and inspiration to your head and to your heart. And I want to make sure that you are ready to go. So I'm going to ask you this question. What is greatness? What are you chasing? What is it in your life that you're seeking out? What is it that you want to achieve that might be missing right now? Are you empty? You're lost. You're broken. You're frustrated. You're stalled. You're exhausted. You're burnt out. Or you're like, hey, Todd, man, like this is where I want to be. I want to be happy. I want to be more at peace. I want to find more joy. I want to find more fulfillment. I want to find better finances, a better career, and more recognition. Whatever it is that you want. I want you to think about that right now as you're listening in and you start to move your body. You start to think about, hey, this is where my life is at. And this is what it's going to take for me to get to the next level. Now, I did a little bit of digging on the definition of greatness. And this is what I discovered in Webster's dictionary. Yeah, anyone remember Webster's dictionary? I don't know if I actually agree with Webster's, but let me give you Webster's dictionary, and I'm going to give you my own definition of what greatness is. Webster's defines his definition of greatness is the quality or state of being important, notable, or distinguished. the quality or state of being powerful or intense. And Webster then says the quality or state of being large in size, stature, number. Hogwash. I don't agree with Webster's dictionary in this case of what greatness is. So I went over to TD's Impact Dictionary, and this is what I found in the dictionary, Impact Dictionary, that is. This is my definition. Greatness is tapping into one's divine purpose and potential to live your best life where you find peace, harmony, happiness, and fulfillment every single day. Greatness can be found financially, professionally, relationally, personally, or in fulfilling your ultimate destiny in life. End quote. TD's Impact Dictionary. That's how I define greatness. How do you define greatness? What does greatness mean to you? As you think about greatness today, in your walk of life, in your career, whatever you do for a living, how are you making a difference? How are you being great in the world today? How are you contributing to your community today? How are you contributing to social media today? How are you contributing to the podcast today? How are you contributing to your family today as a mom or a dad, as a son or a daughter, a grandma, a grandpa, as a minister? How can you be great today? So I think about this. And in my own thoughts, I think of who are some of the greats? Who are some of the greats that roamed the earth, that walked around, present or past? And I wrote down some names. I thought about some names, and I'm going to start off with some athletes whom I consider great, the greatest of all time in their different areas of expertise. Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Serena and Venus Williams, Peyton Manning, Roger Staubach, Joe Montana, Lawrence Taylor, the first LT, Patrick Mahomes, Usain Bolt, Jim Thorpe. And on the female side, Martina Navratilova, Jenny Finch, Mia Hamm, FloJo, Mary Lou Retton. Some of you are like, man, who's Mary Lou Retton? 1984 Olympics, man, look her up. Nadia Comaneci. Think about greatness. Who are some of the greats I had the opportunity to work with personally? I think of guys like Drew Brees, LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, Darren Sproles, Mike Chandler as a UFC lightweight contender, Chase Daniel, who you're going to hear from in a future episode here about chasing greatness and what it takes even when you're a backup, even when it's for 14 years. Dominic Cruz. The list goes on, but who are the greats in your mind when it comes to an athlete at any level? Who are the greats at the high school or college or pro level? I think of the best coaches, the greatest coaches of all time. Who are the greatest coaches? Lombardi, Holtz, Wolf, Warren H. Wolf, Auriemma, Pat Summitt, the legendary Pat Summitt from University of Tennessee, Jill Ellis, the former U.S. Olympic soccer coach, Saban, Sweeney, Self, not Self like as in me, but Bill Self. He just won the national championship at the University of Kansas, the late, great Jim Valvano, and the coach whom I considered the greatest of all time, Coach John Wooden, 10 national championships at UCLA. I think about greatest. I don't think of just coaches and athletes, but I also think of even in the world of art or speaking or entertainment or entrepreneurs, folks like Picasso, Van Gogh, Mozart. Think of guys like Tony Robbins, guy who I look up to, man. Tony, I've learned a lot from. Robin Sharma, Gary Vee, Milet, Grant Cardone, Ellen DeGeneres, Les Brown, E.T. the hip-hop preacher, Brian Buffini, The Rock, Kevin Plank at Under Armour, Randy Hetrick from TRX, Chris Poyer over at Perform Better. These are some of the folks who I've had the opportunity to rub elbows with. I consider great men and women. J.K. Rowling. Are you kidding me? You talk about impact, you talk about great. I look at great, I think about ministry. Of some of the people who I know who have impacted me and many other millions of people in ministry. Folks like Pastor Miles McPherson and Pastor David Jeremiah, great friend of mine, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Pastor Stephen Furtick. Man, I love Furtick. Man, you want to get fired up. Pastor Furtick down there in North Carolina. When I go down and see Luke, I'm going to go down there and see Pastor Furtick. And then I think about life changers, game changers in the game of life of all time. Folks like Gandhi, the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, who was in prison for close to 30 years, and his greatest work was done on the second half of his life. Guys like MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Musk, Mark Cuban, Mother Teresa, Maria Shriver, Oprah Winfrey. The list goes on and on. I think about the greatest of all time in any area. Stocker, Singleton, Yeagers, Barnes, Twist, Rooney, Gray, Pooker, Watson, Cogswell, Indiviglia, Poston, King, the Bristol brothers, Bertrand, Rogers. And you're like, TD, who are they? Those are coaches, those are trainers, and many of you don't even know their name. But here's the reason why, is because there's great people in every walk of life. You have great people right now, you're thinking about, hey, she's a great entrepreneur, she's a great leader. He's a great leader. He's a great mom, or she's a great mom and he's a great dad. Whatever that is, who are the greats that you may not even know their names? People who are roaming this world and saying, man, she's a difference maker. The way she does that is absolutely amazing, changing lives every day as a mom or as a dad. So who do you know? Or who do you follow? Or who do you read about? Who do you follow on social media? Like, I like the way she fires me up. I love the way he inspires me and gets in my head and my heart. Whom do you consider great? And what makes them great? What makes you great? So right now, as you're listening in about the greatest, chasing greatness, as you chase greatness, and maybe like, Todd, I'm so far from greatness. Good. Think of guys like Jocko Willink. Good. What's it going to take to get to your best next level? What's it going to take to pull yourself out of the abyss that you may be, out of the hole that you may be in right now? It might just mean today, this one moment right now as you listen in, that you're like, chasing greatness is about that process. So here are a few of the things that I believe the greats have. And I believe you have them too. The greats have the ability to dream and persevere. What do you want? What do you want in your life? What are you willing to dream for? Is it a God-sized dream? Is it a goal that you want to persevere for? But the greats have the ability to dream and persevere. The greats have the ability to overcome adversity. I don't know. Have you had any setbacks recently? Have you had any pitfalls? Have you had to overcome anything in your own life? Personally, professionally, relationally, financially, health-wise? What have you had to overcome? Because you're always way stronger than you think. Are you facing a tough time right now? And if so, perhaps my voice is going to give you the voice of motivation, inspiration to keep digging right now, to go deeper than you've ever gone right now. The greats have the ability to sacrifice what you want for what you need. The greats have the ability to sacrifice what you want for what you need. So what do you want versus what do you need? Think about some of the distractions that could be popping up. Parties, social life. What's distracting you and keeping you from where you want to go in your own life? The dreams that you want to attain. The greatness, that level that you want to attain, where you find the peace and the fulfillment and the joy and the happiness, the success and the significance that you so desire. What are you willing to give up today? What are you willing to sacrifice today? Are you willing to give up the parties, the distractions, the things that aren't helping you get you to where you want to go? The greats have the ability to have the discipline to do what needs to be done today, to focus on the now. And I hope that in these upcoming episodes of this series about chasing greatness, you're going to hear from some greats in some different walks of life. And I bet you're going to hear things about the process, about what it's going to take on a daily basis to have the discipline from the time the sun comes up until the sun goes down, about what needs to get done on a daily basis if you want to reach your potential. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what life is all about? So when you go through the pearly gate someday and you hear the words, well done, good and faithful servant, that you know that you've done everything possible to reach your utmost potential. The greats have the ability and the desire to grow and work on themselves on a daily basis. The greats have mentors. The greats listen or read on a daily basis. They listen to podcasts like this. They read great books on a regular basis. After all, the more you learn, the more you earn. It's been said that Warren Buffett reads 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day. And before you can say, oh, Todd, I don't have 5 hours a day, stop. You're talking about Warren Buffett. You find a way to continue to learn. Bill Gates reads a book a week. Mark Cuban reads 3 hours a day. Last I checked, these are some busy folks. Find a way to read 10 pages a day or 20 pages a day or a book a week, or maybe it's just a book a month. But continue to learn, continue to earn, and have the mentors in your life. And whether it be through a coaching program, whether it be through a program where you continue to learn in what skill sets you need to learn, find a way to continue to grow and work on yourself. The greats have the ability to have faith in their talents. How do you see before it actually happens? When I say to have faith in your talents, faith is believing even when you don't see. So how do you have faith when something hasn't happened, but you're trying to will it to happen? You want to get to another level financially. You want to get to another level of success in your career. You want your relationship to go to another level and to find a deeper, more profound love with your significant other or your spouse or your son or your daughter or your mother or your father. How do you find that level? You got to have the ability to have faith in your talents, even when you cannot see. That comes down to visualizing. That comes down to imagery and ultimately having faith. Faith in the fact that faith, hope, and love always win in the end. So when we talk about greatness, the greatness is already inside of you. It's a seedling that needs to be watered like a garden. Water it today, right now. The greats have the ability to focus on the process of being great. They have the ability to practice the mundane, the things that are sometimes boring. But they're willing to do the work. They're willing to put the time into learning. Are you willing to put the time into learning, even on a weekend or in the evening when you're tired or there's no one around and no one sees you putting in the practice? Yeah, we talking practice. The process is always the key. So how do you embrace the process? How do you fall in love with that? And in this series, I want you to listen for the process of how can I go deeper in the process to make sure that when I'm on an elliptical trainer, I'm out for a walk, I'm enjoying the process of actually listening to the birds sing. I'm listening to the huffing and puffing and the words that are being spoken right now in the here and the now. The greats have the ability to tune out the naysayers, the haters, the doubters, and not let them affect the action steps that need to be taken in their life. Stop listening to what everyone else is saying why you can't do something. Stop right now. That's not acceptable if you want to be great. As a matter of fact, I'm going to implore you right now today to tap into those who are important right now, the encouragement, the life force into you right now to tell you how you can do something, how smart you are, how beautiful you are, how you have the ability, the skill set, the talents, the gifts to do what you say you want to do and that you need to do. Tap into those words. Stop living the words of what people are telling you can't do, because the last I checked, the world will beat you down to your knees and keep you there forever. Literally, if you listen to what the world has to say, stop listening to what the world has to say and start tapping into the inside, because that's where the beauty's found. That's where the greatness is found, inside of you. Change and greatness happens from within, not on the outside. The greats have the ability to use their time right. Stop doing dumb things that are robbing you of your energy, things that are robbing you of your mindset, things that are robbing you of what you know you need to do to help you get done what needs to get done. So I ask you the question, how are you spending your time? Who are you spending your time with? What activities are you doing with your time? Because the last I checked, that's all we have is time. So chasing greatness is chasing time? How can you slow down time enough to make it so finite that right now, today, in this moment on your to-do list today, you're putting things on your to-do list where you're allocating the most important things to do with your time? The greats remember who they are and where they came from, especially when they're down and when they're down on their knees or when they've failed or when they've had a setback. If that is you today, let me remind you of who you are. Let me remind you of where you came from. There's many moments where I've got to remind my own self of where I came from. Yep. I was that 5-year-old kid, the youngest of 8 kids, when mom and dad got divorced, back on 13 Edgewood Drive, back in Brick, New Jersey. That blue-collar town that taught me about grit and resilience, about the hard work and effort that was going to be needed to someday become someone special. To go from nothing to something. What's it going to take? What's it going to take today for you to get up, to literally get back on up and keep going, to have the grit and the resilience that's needed today as your simple conscience today in this voice of chasing greatness? Get up. Get up today. If you're broken, get up. Work around that. That's what today is about. Chasing greatness. The greats have mentors. The greats have coaches. The greats have therapists. Heck, sometimes the greats have all three. Sometimes they have mentors, coaches, and therapists. Whatever's needed to get the job done to help you live your full potential, that's what it's going to take to live your full potential. Only you and the big man up top, G-O-D, know what your full potential is. Hear me? Only you know that. Now, there are people who are pouring into you, typically your mentors, your coach, and your therapist pouring into you. Hopefully you got a support system within your family or your friends group or your circle of influence, those 5 people who are pouring into you. But make sure your network are people who support you. Heck, you're going to hear coming up here on Chasing Greatness how many of these top athletes and entrepreneurs, people, some of them are spending 6 figures a year on their team. On their team of people, because their mindset, their heart set, their soul set, all of these things are worth millions of dollars when it comes to your own sanity, your own potential, and your own greatness. So today I implore you to remind yourself of who you are, what you're made of, where you came from, and all of the people who are in your life, and seek out only the best. Keep getting up and keep going. The greats have the ability to get their mind right, even when the mind ain't right. Did you listen to that podcast episode? 6 ways to get your mind right when your mind ain't right. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Get your mind right like a broken record every single day. Get your mind right. Today is that day for you to snap it and to think about what's going to ascend you up that ladder of greatness, to remind you of what you're made of physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, of what you're designed to be. Go there. Entertain it. The greats have the ability to compartmentalize the bad and the good, so that the bad is not eating your soul alive. That if you're living with regret or resentment, that you put it to the side, stop, forget it, get over that aspect, heal the inside, whatever needs to get done. Notice how I said earlier on, therapist, counselor, coach, trainer, mentor. Heal from the inside and take care of your body, of your mind, and your spirit. The greats have the ability to train their tails off. Others might call the tail something else. Train it off. You can't be great. You can't reach your full potential if you're not physically fit. If you want to change your psychological state, you must change your physiological state. If you change your physiological state, you can change your psychological state. And if you want to be great, you got to change both. You got to change your psychology and you got to change your physiology. Your physiology is going to allow you to change it all. So all of a sudden you change your physiology and you change your psychiatry, your psychology. Yep, it all changes up top when you change your physiology. So change it. Today, train your arse off. You heard me. I said change your arse off. Get after it today. Don't wait. Oh, Todd, my knee hurts. Good. Train hard. Oh, my back hurts. So does mine. Train your tail off. No excuses. I don't want to hear excuses. What I want to hear today is you becoming breathless today. You find a way to get out, and I don't care if it's bear crawling. I don't care if it's walking. I don't care if it's running. I don't care if it's just doing arm farm. Whatever it takes, train your arse off. Get it today. The greats often have a desire to give back and make it more than just about themselves. Maybe it's a philanthropic effort. Maybe it's to create a nonprofit, or you want to scholarship kids, or you want to build hospitals, or you want to help people develop certain skill sets. But let me ask you the question. Do you have the desire to give back? Do you have the desire to make it more than just about yourself? Because I believe in your quest, in your search, in your desire to chase greatness, it's got to become bigger than just you. Yep, we're going to heal on the inside. And we're going to work over these next several weeks about seeking and chasing greatness. But how do you make it bigger than you? How do you ask God and you pray to God, say, hey, give me the wisdom, the strength, the energy, the prayer, the potential to go beyond my problems, to make my pain my purpose, to take my problems and to all of a sudden give me a deeper purpose on what I can do to have more profound impact with what I do. So my friend, greatness is not about money. Greatness is not about fame. Greatness is not about the big house. And although you may seek that, we may want to seek more things. Realize this, it's never about the things, the monetary things in your life. It's about that feeling. It's about that emotion that we all crave and want to say, I filled my potential. I filled it. I filled my bucket up. And the last I checked, you and I weren't there yet. There's another level that we've got to attain to do that. It's becoming the best version of myself. It's about how good can I become? What can I do to maximize the impact of those around me? So I implore you today, decide to be great today as I kick off this series called Chasing Greatness. Decide right now, what can you do to be even better? I know you're already good. I know you might be on the bottom of the barrel. You might be at the top of the mountain. Wherever you are, there's always another level. Decide today to be great. Decide to be the best version of yourself today and recommit yourself right now. At this moment, as you hear my voice, recommit yourself in faith, of mind, of body, of soul, in your profession, in your finances, to be your absolute best self today. So end it with a few questions for you to think about. Number one, what's the greatness inside of you? Think about that. What's the greatness inside of you? What's there that the world deserves to hear? The world deserves this aspect of this little girl or this little boy that's inside of you that's waiting to come out, or this man or woman who's been hurt in any way. What's the greatness inside of you that needs to come out? Number two, what are you chasing? Are you chasing success or are you chasing significance? I want it to be both. I want you to chase success, but ask yourself, how can I be most significant today? In my training session, what can I do? What can I say? In the operation doc that you have today, what word of encouragement can I say to that patient? As an attorney, what word of hope can I give this person who has immense stress or anxiety or depression going on? As a teacher, what can I say to that student today in the elementary, middle, high school, or collegiate level to give them the reminder that's necessary that your education does matter, that what you're doing matters, the investment financially, time and energy to read the way you read right now, to study, to learn a craft is going to pay off with a 25-year plus career that's going to create impact? Third question. How much time do you have left on earth? Think about that. How much time do you have left? If you were to predict how much time do you have left, I guess I asked that question is because how much greatness do you want to create in the time you have left? All of a sudden you realize that time is finite. And although time isn't guaranteed to you or me, I do know this, that when you put a deadline to what you need to create based on your greatness, you realize that time is finite. So if you're like me, I've got 60 years left. I know I'm going to die when I'm 110 years old, 10/10, October 10th, 2082. I have 60 years left. What am I going to create in that 60 years left? Or what if I have 5 years left? Or what if this was the last year of my life? If this was the last year of your life, what needs to get done today, this week, this month? What do you need to do? When you start thinking about like that and you're chasing greatness, what does greatness mean? It all of a sudden has a different definition when you know you got 6 months or a year or 2 years to live. Let's not wait for that diagnosis to come. How much time do you have left on earth? And start to get done what needs to get done. Number 4 of 5 is this. Is today the day that you recommit to being your best and being great? Is today that day? Yes or no? And if it's yes, I want to know. I want to know that you're reinvesting in yourself and everything that you do with your health and your mindset and your soul set, in your faith walk, and in developing that relationship with God and what you're going to do. If today's that day that you recommit to being your best, let me know. Because the 5th question out of 5, what are you going to do and when are you going to do it to be great? Today is your day. Are you ready to be great? Are you ready to be great? My friend, today is your day. It's time to go out and be great today. Until next time, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and go be great today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode all about being great. Greatness, it's a great topic. Chasing greatness. As a matter of fact, what I want to do right now is I want to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you to 30 days of greatness. What's it going to take for you to step up to the 30-day challenge, 30 days of greatness of what's it going to be? 30 days, not just today. Although it starts today, you just committed. I heard you commit. And you say, you know what? Here's how I could be better as a mom or a dad or as a professional or whatever it is that you do. You want to be great in your walk. Step up to the 30-day greatness challenge. So I ask you this question. What are you committing to for the next 30 days? What are you committing to? Declare it out loud. Share it with me. And maybe it's you want to read 10 pages every day. Maybe you want to drink half your body weight in fluid ounces of water every single day. Perhaps you want to cut out alcohol for the next 30 days, or you want to cut out coffee, or you want to stop smoking, or you want to work out for 30 straight days. Maybe you want to take a big leap in your career or in your job. Maybe you want to pray every day for 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Perhaps you want to start the practice of journaling in the morning or even in the evening. Maybe you want to start sending an inspirational message to a friend or family member once a day for the next 30 days. You choose. But today, I'm launching the 30-Day Greatness Challenge. Hashtag 30-Day Greatness Challenge. What's it going to take to be great for you? Commit to one thing and for 30 straight days, you fight like hell to be great in this area of your life. Maybe it's the thing that's bogging you down today that you're like, TD, thank you. I needed to hear this message. I'm going to do everything in my power and in the power of this community to be great in this area of your life. Remember, it's your choice. You choose to be great. But the 30-day greatness challenge starts today. It's time to be great.